Hello and welcome to the DM's Book Club, a weekly book club podcast about Dungeons and Dragons, not so much anymore, discuss how we might include it and improve it for all of our storytelling campaigns. With me, back again, this time in the GM seat, which I'm very excited for, is the wonderful Hamilton. Hello, Hamilton, how are you doing?
Hello. Yes. Hi, I'm good. I'm excited to be in the GM's chair. We famously, I use that word wildly, you ran a really fun game for me. It was probably Christmas last now.
I was going to say, it was a long... I wasn't here in the US when we did it. It was a long time ago. Yeah.
I had so much fun. In the mortuary in Sigil, a Planescape game, I got to play Ash... what was my character's name now?
It was so good, Ashes, you can't remember anything about it. That's how it works.
I remember your character's rhymes. I remember Ashes. I remember everything you played. I don't remember anything I played. That's my problem. I played too many characters in my life. It's hard to tell. But I remember that. It was so much fun. Rhymes was great. The sort of like mummified character that I was wheeling along and around. And we had our Beetlejuice moment, which was great. It was so much fun. It was a really good session.
It felt very Grim Fandango in places, I feel like, now I think about it.
One of my favourite games of all time. So,
I've never played. I've only seen memes of it. I know I'm a bad nerd. I'm so sorry. I look at that old houses and any of
those games, any of the sort of point and click.
I played point and click. It was one of those things that just completely I've told you before, like I missed all the Zelda games, anything like that. I never got into any of those games just because I didn't have those means to get into them. So, but I hear Grim Fandango's got some great writing and stuff.
It's absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. It's definitely one of the better ones. And I remember at the time, because it was like that borderline of like 3D, it just survived looking good in 3D as well. They did it really cartoony, and the storyline it spans years, and it's such a world that they built, like really amazing world building, like 100%.
Like that I missed, and is it Escape from Monkey Island or whatever it's called? I didn't play
all the Monkey Islands. I played because that's the thing. I was into Lucasfilm games from I played all the Indiana Jones ones. I played all the Monkey Islands. I played Maniac Mansion and Day of the Tentacle, and they were like my childhood. 100 Sam and Max, everything. Yeah, that's like
so cool.
I played them probably like 8, 9, 10,000 times.
Oh, that's so cute. Yeah, I was just Tomb Raider. That was me. I was so bad at Tomb Raider, though.
I was terrible at it as well. It's hard to get the jumps.
It was in the era of where we were going to from D-pad to joysticks, and God, it was such a painful learning. And obviously because it's got those tank control mechanics, so poor Lara was constantly smashing into the walls. So I was desperately trying to turn around to shoot something. I was just dreadful.
100%. And it was some of those you had to run, jump, and roll, and you were just like, "Are you kidding me? How do you do this? This is impossible."
But it's wild now because it's so easy to do, and I was just it's so interesting when you come back to it.
You say that. I was playing some Elden Ring the other day, and I was trying to do a jumping bit, and I completely forgot how you do the rolling jump roll thing. I was like, I'm an old person. And then finally got down by seeing these little ledges that I could fall onto, and I think maybe that was a way I meant to do it. I don't know, but there's definitely a better way.
I like that in games where you're like, I don't know how I get down. I know, I'll just slide down the slope.
Finding every little I saw I could probably get a foot on that ledge, and I kind of slid to the right place and landed. I was like, yes.
that was me in Red Dead Redemption. Constantly was like, what? On my horse sliding down a mountain, and then suddenly I go, oh no, and the horse would crumple at the bottom, and I go, fuck, I'm in the middle of fucking nowhere, and I've killed my horse by sliding down a mountain. The classic way.
At least in Red Dead, you don't lose much. Also, when you're in Elden Ring, it's I kept dying twice, and then was but I need to get those what they call seeds or whatever, runes or whatever. I need those. I've got thousands, and I need to level up. So I kept running back, getting on the horse and running past all the enemies chasing me as I'm running.
Hey,
exactly. And I'm just jump, collect, and then slide down as best I can.
Slidey slide, yeah. And there you go. Those are the old gamer tips that we have. Is just slide down every invisible wall and hope for the best. Yeah, we're not pros at all.
But talking of grim, dark games like Elden Ring.
Yes, definitely not Red Dead Redemption. Absolutely.
No. What are we doing today? I should ask you, but what am I going to be playing today? What am I going to be running for you today?
Exactly. Well, Hamilton, we had a chat about because as you said at the beginning, I ran the mortuary for you, which is kind of more semi-improvised stuff. And we were like, you know what? I hear you've written a game or two. Why don't we do some cross-promotional purposes? And also for me to actually enjoy a finished product of yours as well. Because I know we've talked about extensively all of your work. So I was like, why don't you run me like a little game? So we're going to run through Omen of the Blood God. So I'm going to say your first game, question mark?
Yeah, I mean, I made some supplements for D&D, which you can find on DM's Guild and stuff like that. But the first, like, proper adventure and classes and all the sort of, like, big book thing that I made... Well, I made Demon Slayer, which was a little pamphlet thing at the same time, and then this is
Omen of the Blood God. That was the Kickstarter. That was your first.
Yeah, I made it with Demon Slayer. It was the first sort of Kickstarter I did, and they were sort of a pairing.
That was it.
And this was actually meant to be a lot smaller than it was, and it grew and grew.
Yeah, I'm looking at I know it's a spread, but 119 pages, and I'm like, that's a big book, Hamilton.
Yeah, it's because it was meant to be like a really short, like one map and a couple of classes, and then suddenly it became like 2 adventures which had 3 whole maps and a whole it basically became 2 mini campaigns and a whole solo version, which is what we're going to be playing today, which is more like it can be run solo because they've written it. So it's actually, in Omen of the Blood God there is the Omen of the Blood God campaign, which is more of a party. It's set a little bit earlier than this and has got a bit more wide-ranging stuff about political intrigue to a certain extent. Whilst we're going to be running the Avatar of the Blood God, which is the sort of one player. You can run it as a group one, and it can be a solo play because I've written it with my GM's notes, if you know what I mean. So as in, like, I direct you where you'd go next. So there's not many questions. So it's a bit railroaded as a solo adventure, but I feel it's like halfway between a choose your own adventure and a role playing game where you're sort of playing through the story. And there really is only one. It's like one way you can go because you've got a very defined path that you're trying to achieve, and it's more like how far can you get before you die. That's kind of it. So you get to have some fun, sort of doing things.
I guess I know we're not talking about it necessarily today, but solo games recently, a lot of them are open ended. Like I'm thinking, we were talking about the One Ring fairly recently, and obviously that has Strider mode. We've got Vason, another Free League game, has Thursday's Child, which is their solo rules. But all it is just like, here's an Oracle deck to generate encounters. Here's maybe 1 or 2 extra mechanics so that fighting isn't too much. Yeah. But it's still as free form, which is great. Don't get me wrong. I think that's really good. But also, when I look at stuff like that, certainly when I looked at Strider mode, I was like, oh, there's still a lot of work I have to do to generate this stuff. And, and solo games as well, like a lot of them are just like prompts going like, what do you think? But if you're adding mechanics and stuff on top of that, it can be quite intimidating and overwhelming. So whilst you say railroaded, choose your own adventure stuff, again, that's a nice way to get people going, and you're not thinking too hard and generating too much when you're making these things. And, it allows you to be like, I mean, that's why I'm a big fan of improv. I have to say improv every bloody episode now. But it gives you sort of these parameters to be like, oh, and then you bounce off those parameters and then you jump at, you use them as a jumping off point. So I'm always appreciative of a solo RPG that knows what it is. And it's like, we're going to choose your own adventure. You got these things. It's like, perfect. I don't have to worry, especially if it's a genre I don't know. So I'm not having to then think of like, well, what else could it possibly be? Because I'm not familiar with this genre. So I'm excited to play this.
Well, I hope so. Yeah, that's the thing. And I think that was my point. So it's like, I want to make a solo campaign. And what is that? Because I think you're right. A solo game to me is that. It's the sort of, here's the mechanics to have an open-ended story. But when it's like a solo campaign needs to have something you're achieving, and so I tried to make it. That's kind of what I was. It's like it's a bit of a novel that you play through, and you can die, and there are some options you could take, but really you're on a quest. And I've given, as I was mentioned to you off podcast, there's a few ways that you can come at this quest and have different motivations, which lead to different things. Whilst the other Omen of the Blood God campaign, which I was talking about, the other part of this, which is a party group game, that has. Well, it's got a defined path, but you can go about it however you want, and you'd have a GM that could change the story as it goes. But and you can make much more greater decisions throughout it. But
yes, heck yeah.
So and then in this book came with 2 classes, of which you will start as one and may become the other. We'll see.
We'll see how far it gets, I think.
See how far you get. It depends what the choice you make if you want to make that choice. But
yeah, for sure.
The class itself is called a pariacal hematologist, which I feel is made for... The vibes feel very Fiona in any way.
I was just like, if I scribble away at this font, it just say Fiona Howard on it. So that's really weird. How did you do that?
Exactly. You're a cloaken figure who is sort of like a pariah of society. People try and look down upon you and your magics and wares, even though at heart they at times desire and require them. You use the tonics, use the magic of hematurgy, which is utilizing blood and the inherent magics within. As it says, the blood you keep is as important as the blood you shed. The blood of the good can burn as intense as the blood of the vile. The blood of hundreds can be scorned by the blood of one. You know these truths and more, so others suffer as you thrive in this fetid world, is the tagline. Or the other one is that this blood pints of it, this crimson liquid sloshes about in hundreds of vials taped to the inside of your black tar cloak as you wander the dying world, advertising your wares, tinctures for sores, consumables for the light burned, components for magics, and special stuff for more sinister devices. You are a hematologist. So that is kind of your guys.
Yeah, it feels very much like a snake oil salesman, but a really awful one.
Stuff. Actually does stuff. You're an awful snake oil salesperson that makes these horrific concoctions. And with that, you get a number of blood vials that you can use through the day, which is kind of your main mechanic, which is...
addicted to my own supply. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the whole point is that, you obviously would sell them, but if you're out on a quest, the point is that you'd have 4 of these blood vials, but they utilize toughness or presence checks for you to use them, depending on if you're going to basically do something to yourself or to something at someone else, for example. The ones you can have is you have Hand of the Blood God, which you can drench your clenched fists in the blood of the unholy and add +2 attack and damage to your unarmed strike in the next turn. And so you have to roll to cast these, to utilize them, which is just have to use like a toughness check. And if you fail it, it's so on a fail, it's just a DR12, and if you fail, then you just take you get a little bit dizzy, but you still cast it. That's fine.
Right.
And then if you then, for the first 2 of the day, if you then want to do your third, it's a DR14, and if you fail, you will also lose D4 hit points. So they always work to a certain extent. It's just to see if anything goes wrong. And then the 4th one is a DR16, and if this fails, you will be flayed of your flesh, reduced to 1 hit point, and you'd have to fight an Omen of the Blood God, which will come for you.
Ow.
Which is not great,
No.
but it just means you do have 4 to use a day, but technically you won't use more than 3.
I don't want to do that. Yeah, fair.
It's a kind of like last hurrah chance to use your 4 blood vials, basically.
Okay.
You've got those. You've got Ferrous Tonic, which you consume a vial of demon blood and turns your skin iron black and add +2 to toughness for the next turn. Which is fine. Or you mark Hematonic Combustion. You can mark your arms with runes of a long dead language, and when you sing these words, they inflame, drawing blood from an intended victim. It pours from their eyes, nose, and mouth, and you do D8 damage to them, basically, on their being. The Pariah become a creation of extended limbs and digits, and you have DR10 to your attack instead of DR12, and you do D6 damage and add that to your HP. So whenever you do damage, you're gaining things. You can heal yourself with Blood of the Unicorn, but then you lose presence. And there's a couple of other fun ones, like you can make some golems, if you so wish. If you kill someone and you find a dead body, you can just pour this potion into it and they turn into a golem, which will work with you until 24 hours, where they'll turn on you. So just leave them where they are after.
Yeah, I think I'm like, okay, you stay here. Bye. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and you can get special attacks from other creatures. If you're a fighting creature, you can steal their special attacks. And there's a Chaos Tonic, which you have to turn upside down to read, which is you roll for it and see what happens. That is the standard, but because you're going to be solo playing this, we're going to be taking something from the other one, which is the Avatar, which is these blessings. And this is me editing this because technically because we're going to be playing this a little bit more, you're not going to be playing the Avatar straight away, but I want to be able to give you these blessings. depending on what hit point the things you kill, you will gain blessings, which will allow you to either utilize further blood vials, in this case, not blood curses, so more of these vials per day, and not have any of those issues that we're talking about. And you can use them to gain omens, which is like re-rolling dice or rolling the highest on a die, or omens are a part of Morkborg, so in the main book, which allows you to, I'll read all of them so it's kind of clear. So you can deal maximum damage with one attack, re-roll a dice roll, lower damage dealt to you by d6, neutralize a crit or fumble, or lower one's test DR by -4. So if you had to like roll a DR 12, it'd make it a DR 8 or something. Or you can heal yourself a D4, or you can adjust your stats if you so wish as well for the day. So it's like a little way to give you some power over being a single person solo player against what things may have been built for 4 to 5 players.
For group, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
So that's the sort of classes. That's what you need. What we need to do, though, so that's the classes and your abilities. Other than that, really, it's Morkborg. You have a character, you gain the stats as we will do in the book, and any other abilities that you want, like a blade or anything like that, you will take from the book. But really, that's it. You don't get a lot in the game. So,
okay. Yeah. All right, let's go then. Yeah. What do you need me to do to start then?
First off, we need to roll for your 4 abilities, which is 3d6.
3d6, all right.
And we'll do them. We'll do all 4, and then you can apportion the numbers as you like. So, yeah.
So 3d6.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first one, not great. That's a 6 total.
6 total. So -2.
Ooh, all right. Let me write that down. All right, next 3d6 rolling. Another 6.
Oh, another -2.
Yes. Might be a very short game. There's the rolls. That is 15.
+2. Nice. There you go.
Nice. There we go. And then the final one, that's a 12.
Oh, and a 0. So you got 2 -2s, a 0, and a +2. That's a pretty. A -2 averaged over the 4 isn't too bad. I mean,
the worst it could be.
I'd say normal standard array is +1. So.
Oh, okay. I guess. Yeah. Fair enough.
So you're a little bit down, but that's okay because you've got lots of additional things, and you can adjust your stats using your blessings. So you can use that how you like.
Okay.
With that, it's worth noting that your key stats are toughness and presence, which are, so agility is defend, balance, swim, and flee. Presence and strength, the ones that you're going to be potentially not important to you, are crush, lift, strike, and grapple. So they're your attack and defense rolls. Depends how you want to work this. Whilst presence and toughness are what you use to use your abilities. Now it's up to you how you want to spread that. But those are, presence also deals with any magic you might wield. And then resist poison, survive falling is toughness, as well as like presence being perceiving, aim, and charming as well.
Remind me about hit points, because that's all on toughness.
Your hit points are your toughness plus a d4.
Okay, so so I feel like I'll put my 0 in toughness, because I feel like if I put a -2, I'm bound to fail. So that doesn't seem right.
Yeah.
And then it leads down to agility, presence, and strength. I feel like let's make this like a wizard type character. So we'll do a +2 to presence if that's the powers, and then the -2 to the agility and the strength, because then that makes sense. You're like, I just feel like, if you come up and beat me up, like if you discover my snake oilness, you're like, I'm a weakling, So yeah.
It should actually be toughness +4, so it'll be +4 whatever you get. So it'll be 0, so you'll have 4 hit points. Hit points.
That's all right. That could be worse, right?
Yeah, I mean, it is Morkborg. It's meant to be single-digit hit points.
I'd rather have 4 than 2 if I'd used a -2 for it. So yeah,
that's basically all your stats. The things that then we can do are choose your. We can roll your omens each game, but we can do that for the first one, so you've got that set. So roll a d4 and see what you get for those.
Okay, rolling d4 for my omen. That is a 3.
3. Okay, so you get 3 of those for the day.
Nice.
And I think for the sake of it, we'll just say you get 3 every day, because that will just save us having to remember to do that. So that's saved, because it's a pretty all right number. And then D4 on the weapons table and a D2 on the armor table. So we need a
D4 for weapons.
Weapons, yeah. I'm trying to find the weapons
that's
table.
That's a 1.
Okay, you have I think it's a dagger, a femur.
Yep,
which sounds really appropriate. It does D4 damage, so you just have a bone of something.
Yeah, cool.
And then a D2 on the armor.
All right, roll the D4, halve it. Is it halve it rounding down or up?
Do 3s and 4s, so then, yeah.
I rolled a 3 on my D4.
So you get 2. So you've got light armor, which gives you -2 to D2 damage for every attack on you, which is quite good.
Light armor -2 to every damage on me. Okay.
Minus D2. So
D2,
you get to roll.
sorry.
Yeah. So it's fur, padded cloth leather. So it's just your like black tar cloak gives you some
super. Yeah, it's super fine. It's super. It's high quality.
Exactly. It's really well woven. The tar, like, it has made it harden, so it just takes a few like bits of cuts of a blade and absorbs a bit of damage. Like, you can't get quite easily stabbed unless it's a really sharp blade. So
fair enough. I mean, I've got a femur, so you should see the other guy.
I would say that in terms of equipment and stuff, without going into like building out all this character, you've got pretty much anything you could require as a traveler. You know, you would have some rope, you would have a torch, you always have like a flaming pyre as a sort of thing that you carry around as a lot of like a way of like that you light up, and it's kind of a symbol of the hematurgist, this sort of thing. So it's like to say where you'd sell your wares, you put this little torch up and sit by it. You've got that and the ability to like start fires, and you can camp wherever you want. So all those sorts of basic travelers stuff you would have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Sounds good.
Other than that is it. That's it.
Cool. I'm not worried.
It's fine, okay? The point is you should try your best to not get into too much combat as much as possible. And when you do, use your tonics and vials to fight them as best you can. My only worry is that when you use your third one and you'd fail, you'd lose D4 HP, which means you could die immediately.
Look, if it comes to it, it comes to it. I'm sure it's fine.
But the thing is, at some point you might ascend to the Avatar, and then you will have lots more to play with. So we'll go from there, hopefully.
Nice.
Then I think I'm trying to think if there's any. I think that is everything else. So really, then there's nothing else to do but go into how the story may start, unless you have any other questions about it.
I guess because you can pray up to 4 blood vials. Do I pick them now, or do I?
Can. Yeah, I think why don't we do that? Let's.
Yeah, I just wondered we can get it. Then we know rather than I roll randomly and like, well, this will do. You know, I just wondered.
Yeah. Let's go with that. So which ones suit your fancy, let's say? Do you want to...
I was going to roll randomly, that's what...
you want to roll random? Oh, let's do that. So you need a D8 then.
D8, right. Grab it. See, I'm you know me, I'm all for rolling randomly and just hoping for the best. So that's what I was thinking.
Like it. Cool.
All right. So there's 8 these blood vials I could have. So the first one is a 3.
So you got hematomic combustion, which is you mark your arms with the runes of a long-dead language. When you sing these words, they inflame, drawing blood from an intended victim. It pours from their eyes, nose, and mouth. It does D8 damage.
Nice. Okay, that sounds pretty cool. I'll take that. And what I'll do, if I get it again, I'll re-roll it, because I'd like to have some different ones. All right, so the next one, good thing I said that, because that was another 3. Rolling again, 6, the blood of the unicorn one.
Yes, so that means you heal D4, but are cursed by the vile deed and lose -2 to presence for 1 day when you use it.
1 day? Oh. Yeah. All right, writing this down.
It means you get 0 on your thing, but it means you get to heal D4. It's like an extra D4.
Sorry. I rolled a 6, not the blood of the unicorn. That's a 5. Sorry.
Okay. Abrans Liviner. So you stab your predator's origin, the skin of any creature. On your next turn, you consume the liquid and gain the creature's special attack or an enhanced melee attack if they don't have one. If it's a PC of any of its abilities, which it won't be another PC because I haven't got any. But it's like, so if you attack, like, for example, if I take a monster at random in the book. Here we go. The Lich, their special is Paralyzing Touch. Every round, no one can use powers near this anti-magical wound. In reality, every round they can steal the contents of a nearby scroll and use its power against its owner. So if you've got, which will change that you can use you can use a free power basically, and they can't use any they can't use any of their specials against you basically.
Nice.
So that's how we switch it around. So it's quite good.
I like that.
Yeah, and you can paralyze things as well. So you'd roll a presence DR14, and then you would paralyze anything that's nearby basically. It's quite fun.
Oh, okay, nice. All right,
Yeah.
Third one, that is a 7. So the Chaos Tonic.
A Chaos Tonic, yes, which means you can either your canine teeth elongate, your skin pales and light burns. You can make a bite. So you have to roll a d6 for this. This is the 6th one. You can make a bite attack. You do a di12 attack as usual. You do d4 damage, and you gain. You get -2 to your agility, which you can't only get is -3, so we minus that. Minus DR2 to attacks, but after the effect rolls off a D6, exactly. So you can. So you get to minus DR2 to your attack. So you've got less agility, but your DR for attacks will be, instead of DR12, it'll be DR10.
Yes.
And you can just do
reduced.
a bite attack, which does D4 damage instead. So you can use that to bite at people, but your attacks just get better. So
So
But then you have to roll a D66, and if you roll a 66, you get it turned into a vamp witch, which means you get different curses, and so you get blood curses.
Oh, yeah, you're talking about that. Nice.
Okay,
cool. All right, and then the final one.
Yeah.
Hand of the Blood God, 1.
So you get +2 to your attack and damage rolls for your unarmed strike in the next turn. So
Nice. Excellent. Okay.
yeah.
Cool.
So,
got some nice choices there.
I would also say that if you've rolled these, I say you've got D4, but I think if you've got them, you can reuse one of those 4 again. Does that make sense?
Oh, that's kind of you. Yeah. I mean,
I think that will make it. I'm trying to make it a bit more fair as a solo, because it's not necessarily.
I don't mind that. It feels very much like when we've done the catacombs stuff, where it's like, did you remember to bring this magic potion? You're like, well, you made me use it. Well, you don't have it, you can't go through. And I'm like, what the bloody hell are you talking about? So I don't mind that too much, because I kind of like.
Okay, we'll keep it. We'll keep it then. You've only got those 4 to use.
Yeah, nice. It doesn't. Right. I don't think there's anything else, because we've got our stats, we've got the omen stuff.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, we've got the blood files. Yeah, all right. Yeah. So where next then?
Where next? Well, then I'm just scrolling down in the infinite pages to get to the avatar. So I could kind of give you an introduction to where the setting is, and there's a little journal entry I've written for your character that you could read if you want to. I don't know if you'd rather read it yourself.
No, you do it. You do it.
Okay, fine. I'll give the sort of intro. So. This obviously, as I was saying before, this is set after the Omen of the Blood God. This is actually a story of a time long future from then, when the 6th misery has befallen and there is little time left before the end of days. In this time, the city of Rotsburg is no longer what it once was, which is a city that was in the Omen of the Blood God. And the world is now at the brink of destruction. Desperation fills the air, even within yourself. Yet you do have one hope. The idea is that you are sitting, writing in your journal, as you travel, sort of sat by a fire on your way to the city of Norstead. Now, the city of Norstead is famed across the Westland, which is between Schleswig and Galgenbeck, if people know their areas of the Morkborg map. And it once was a city of wonders, arcane wonders, in the age very long gone, even before the time before the time before. The sort of magical great and good of the world all convened in this small walled city where they experimented and dabbled in all the majesty of arcane arts. And it grew into a city that is towered and filled with just wizard towers and stuff like that, sort of like wonders to their craft in sort of architecture as well as artifice. Then, as all stories of this such seem to occur, hubris took over them in the visions they had through their sort of magical abilities of a world beyond the veil, a world, again, similar to yourself, away from the curse of the two-headed basilisk, realms of wonder that could take them further in their craft of magic. And what happened was that they tried to center a serious amount of energy on a singular point during, in a seance of many of the great and good of the artificers and mages of the land. But in their hubris, they went too far and actually ripped a tear in reality to a realm not as they wished, and as such came rushing through it these horrific this huge blast that sort of decimated like a large area around them and all of them. But then those that still survived were then terrorized by these horrific creatures that looked like weird tentacled faces that just had like a singular eye that when looked upon made people get ill with it. Even just looking upon them gave them ill with a sickness where their hair fell out and they slowly withered away and died. And everyone just sort of began to flee from these beasts. But it soon became apparent that these beasts can't, once they get beyond this area called the Hallow, which is the big opening that they made, their skin, they've got this kind of like chitinous metallic carapace, starts to rust really quickly. And once they get to the edge of basically the city walls, they slowly just become petrified. And so they're sort of contained in this area, and they prefer to just stay within the little Hallow area. And actually parts of the city are kind of well preserved from them because they don't really like to spread much further, but they're still there. And because of this, and when people started to come back, was because it's a city filled with wizard towers and all these wonders of an arcane age that people have been going for centuries since to investigate, find, and delve the treasures up high or in the vaults of these once mages. And because of that, there are a number of different brigands. One of the most famous of them is the Bastards of Baal. They sort of run the majority of the city and have sort of taken over, and they use it as they sort of run along the wasteland itself, doing whatever ill deeds that they could fare, mainly for the fact that Baal herself is just absolutely devoted to gaining as much coin as possible, sees the end of the world coming and sees that all that is worth doing is amassing as much wealth and glory that she can before it comes to the end, and maybe could buy her way out even if she could. She's pretty much that sort of bargainer. And so you find yourself on the edge of this city, and it says in your notes, the city of Norstead has been a ruin for centuries. The hallow that marks the rip in ethereal fabric through which monsters of another existence merge is all that alights the darkened towers from afar. As I draw closer, though, some lights mark the encampments of brigands, ne'er-do-wells, and chancers that try their luck in the city of buried treasure. As the wall that rings the city is aflame with torches from the Bastards of Baal, well, that's what they call themselves, mark their territory to all that try to enter. Though is buried the right world when most of it is held aloft in the many weird and contorted towers that mark the skyline for miles around? Well, I know one of those holds something I need, the heart. This is the first part of my journey. I need it to begin my ascension. As I am but now only a hematurgist exiled from the lands I have tread, and now with the world on the precipice, someone to be afeared and to do harm to. As such, I keep to the shadows and make sure not to sell wares to the wrong crowd, if at all. But once I have the heart, well... So first it is into the city I go, and Baal and her bastards guarding the walls, I must acquiesce to their help, which, in fact, I need it anyway. See, I need to get into a tower, yet I do not know exactly which one. As the rest was easy, the blood of some noble house, easy. The Liber Omnium, whatever, easy again. As I was there just like they were, the children of Roxburgh. Well, orphans more like. But the heart, well, all they said was that the frozen heart of Praxis Champion lies in the Mage's Tower. That was it. This fool who told me this was much like me, lost on our travels, caught by the locals to be burned like witches. I mean, I may have sought them out and may have told them some people about this meeting of pariahs, but we can forgive and forget. I got them to tell me their tale as we went to the stocks, how they sought the escape from this world, that there is a way beyond the veil with these gifts, past the lands of the basilisk to a paradise of bliss. The others probably thought it was just a comfort for the dying or just their need to share their story, but this is what I came for. I had it, and after everything else hadn't worked out, this was a blessing. So once I had what I needed, I escaped. Then, well, I left them to it. No need to make unnecessary effort. And who likes partners anyway? And all I need, a heart, a book, a little blood. And, well, I have plenty of that. Mm-hmm. So that is your thing. You've kind of... The tale is that you obviously found a similar hematurgist. You may have alerted some guards that you were meeting, got the information you need, and left them to be done with whatever these guards are going to do to you, and you somehow escaped.
I just need to outrun...
Yes, exactly.
The other person, that's it. Yeah.
That's it. And so you've just got a list of getting a heart, a book, and you've got a little blood. And so you know first where the heart is. You know where the book is. You know that's in Roxburgh because you were a child of Roxburgh. You were there, an orphan of this previous time, of whatever happened there before. So you know where that is, but you need to find this heart. and you know it's in a tower.
Yeah, I like how, like, you know, again, beautifully written and then naturally, and then like it feels like, I don't know if you've seen, is it Boy Kills World, that film that came out recently, where
No.
I think it's Bill Skarsgård is the main character, like, but he doesn't speak, but his inside voice is John Hamm, like as an inner monologue. So I like how, like, this is like, a heart, a book, and I'm just like going, well, you know, like, it's that sort of like different outside voice to inside voice. That's what I like here.
Okay, so I could be your inside voice then.
You could be my John Hamm and I'll be Bill Skarsgård. Yeah, absolutely. It's like a fighting film, and I think Bill's character doesn't speak in it. I want to say Boy Kills World. I think it came out like last year, I think. Oh, no, H. John Benjamin, that's it. So the guy who does Archer.
Okay.
Yeah, anyway.
Oh, I like it. I like the idea of that. I'm going to have to listen. I like John Hamm that's the guy who plays...
No, so it's not John Hamm in the film. I got it wrong. It's
okay.
Yeah, so it's H. John Benjamin is the inner monologue voice, and he's the guy who plays Archer. No, John Hamm is...
yes, I see.
Is Mad Men.
Mad Men, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, no.
Okay, fine. Okay, I'll have to check this out. So that's what you are. And yeah, you'll make your way into the town next week, and you can kind of find out, because Baal, you'll think, will know what this tower is. You know, she knows everything about the city. It's her realm and domain. And so if you say, I need a lich's heart, then she'll probably know where a lich may be.
She'll probably know where it is, but also will probably be like, why do you need it? And probably, right?
Surprise, you might actually have something already ready for her to give in exchange. Bargain.
Interesting.
I've left that as a secret, but it's like, when we get there, you've actually got something to bargain with, which is an artifact of very much worth, but we'll come to that when you get there.
Oh, excellent. Well, I'm excited. I'm excited to be on this journey of Omen for the Blood God. So, Hamilton, thank you so much for beginning our journey.
Okay,
Where can we find you on the internet? Where can we get Omen of the Blood God if we were like, this sounds fun?
You could find copies of this at, if you go to itch.io and Theatre Macabre, you can find PDFs of this book, ATM. I am getting it reprinted because we run out. And I've had some more... I've just redone another set of proofreads, which I've just updated, and so that's going to be going out for printing very soon. So there'll be print copies, I'd say in September time, probably by the time that actually gets sorted.
Nice.
But you can find that there, and and you can find me anywhere on the internet under Theatre Macabre on YouTube, where I do TTRPGs, but predominantly Warhammer stuff and tabletop war games information, and and that's pretty much me. But that's where you can find me. Where can we find you?
I love that. I was like, it's gonna be another long this, and you've just gone, nope. Keep it simple.
I'm just going to say it really weirdly.
Love it. Well, where? I'm so glad you asked. When I'm not dealing with tinctures and hemoglobin, you can come find me on What Am I Rolling, which is a twice-monthly tabletop RPG one-shot podcast where we do lots of different RPG systems and interviews with game designers. It's ticking along. I will say, Hamilton, for the first time in a long time, I have a backlog that goes all the way to, at time of recording, to October. And let me tell you, it feels really good.
Amazing.
I feel really good. To be fair, I am working on other projects, so I do need the time to do that. But it's been a really, I really, I love playing games. I love talking about games, and it's been a nice thing to go through and go, okay, I've got these games coming up, and I hope people are going to enjoy them. I realize I do a lot of Powered by the Apocalypse games, and that is purely from the settings rather than I go, you know what, I really love Powered by the Apocalypse. So at some point, maybe we should talk about Powered by the Apocalypse games, because I think the system is fine, but it's just there's so many interesting settings out there. Which
having tried to use it to build something, which I gave up on, but I think it is good.
Yeah.
I feels like it lacks a little bit of something, little bit of something.
I definitely, listening back, editing it, you can hear me go, I have no idea what you roll for this, because in my head I'm just going just talk a way out. I will say, as a sort of separate side, I've recently ran Candela Obscura, which uses Forged in the Dark. A very faint imitation of Forged in the Dark. 'Cause it's called Illuminated Worlds. And I'll be honest, like the game, like the story, everyone's enjoying it. Like everyone's bringing their air game. I've hardly had to call for rolls. Like I've done a couple, but it's not. But again, it's not. I think to myself, it's an interesting setting, but most of it I've made myself, which is a surprise. And then running it, I'm like, yeah, the rules are okay, but it feels like I could have just done like a 1d6 and 6 is hard. I don't. So it's a very interesting way of coming at it. So I've been thinking more about like what is it that I enjoy about role playing? Is it because of the setting, or is it because of the mechanics? And I used to think it was because of the mechanics, but actually I think I'm now more on the fence about like if I love a good setting, I'm like, well, does it matter what the rules is? So anyway,
kind of agree.
I mean, come check out What Am I Rolling, where we do try to do lots of different systems, because obviously I think that's what gets people sparky about talking about different story elements. But yeah, come and stay for the settings. There's some really interesting ones that we've been looking at. What Am I Rolling, wherever you listen to podcasts. Thank you very much. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for letting me do this. That was a lot. That's fun. And there's nothing else to say, is there? But we'll see you on the flip side.